What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of the DG Bricks plus KDX Bricks Analytics podcast. We do not yet have a name. If you have any suggestions, feel free to drop those in the comments below. This is our podcast where we discuss Lego investing as well as new releases, leaks, Star Wars sets, things of that nature.
For our first official recording to come out of the gate, we're going to do a segment on a quick rapid fire. Good set, bad set.
All right, here we go. Coming in with set number one is the 31131 Downtown Noodle Shop. What do you think?
Ooh, that is a good one, and that's not one that I expected. All right, I'm going to go good set. Maybe not super good set, but I'm going to go good set. You know, these mini modulars can be pretty popular. Some in the past have been. You know, they're another way to get a little city going if you don't want to spend all the money on the large modulars, or you want to have something that's a little more playable in your city where the back of the buildings are left open. And also you can, as you're showing here, you can do a few different designs. So I'm going to go pretty good set on this one. How about you?
It's a pretty good set. The price per piece, especially if you can find this on sale, is solid at nearly 600 pieces for, looks like they raised the price on it. Classic Lego. But I do have a copy I picked up here of this set. It's a good set, according to me.
Nice. All right, you see it?
Oh, now I see it. Oh, no.
All right.
I hate this thing.
All right, so my first set is 10497, the Galaxy Explorer. David, your thoughts, man?
All right. I hate this set. No, I'm just kidding. As a set, I think it's wonderful. And in today's world, I'm shocked that this set is only priced at $100. As a Lego investment, I don't like it. There's too much supply. All right, so this set was available at Walmart's last Black Friday in 2022. I think it's $75 down to $50. And I remember seeing the little tag of 1,000 plus people purchase this in the last day for multiple days in a row. So with that in mind, as a Lego investor, I just have to know there are thousands and thousands of discount copies of this set floating around. So launched August of 22. I guess it will have a little bit of a short shelf life. So that would be the one redeeming quality. So it's kind of what I see here is a set that has been widely available, but only for a narrow window of time.
Yeah, I agree with that. So so far we're 2 for 2 on agreeing with each other. So I picked this one as my bad set. Do not invest. With that said, it is a really good set.
With that said, you just start pulling copies out from under the desk.
and I have zero. My dad actually has one. I don't think he's built it yet, but I have 0 copies of it. And unless you're getting this set at $50, you're starting from behind on investment as you described. But review videos I've watched, 2 or 3 of them at this point, have all said that the build experience is great. So it's a modern build experience, but it has the classic 1980s space feel to it. And of course, the box looks like it, which is great. But typically when a company makes something that is commemorative, and this is the 90 years of play commemorative set, they are advertising it and marketing it as a collectible, and usually those things do not become collectibles. So although it's a great set and I want to build one myself, it's got to be super discounted in order for us to even have a chance for investing and reselling.
That's a great way to put it. If you're not sourcing the set for around $50, you are starting from behind. Not to say you could not ever make money on it, but you have to be aware of what is happening in the market. And with a set like the Boba Fett's Throne Room, for example, I know for a fact lots and lots of people got that set for $40 at Costco. Some even got it at $20. And so I just know that there are hundreds, if not thousands, of sets floating out there that people are going to let go at like MSRP. You know what I mean? So if I'm starting from MSRP, I'm just starting from such a hole that, yeah, it's not that it's a bad set, but I would never invest in it.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the Boba Fett Throne Room, because I was deciding between this one and that one for my bad set, and it was for the exact same reason. Both great sets, just heavily discounted, and I missed out on that, and it sounds like you did too.
So I was just going through and looking. The Throne Room is kind of one of these setting sets. It's not a spaceship. It's not a vehicle. It's one of these like sets. So this is probably like one of the best known of the sets. And due to the 6 exclusive minifigures here, the Jedi, this set I think goes for around like $500 or $600 in new condition. So that's the power of exclusive Lego Star Wars minifigures. So the Throne Room, I mean, it's a little bit of the same. You can just see the resemblance. 7 figures, 6 unique.
So the other one, the old one, Palpatine's Rest, that one is purely a setting.
And if you look, this had a really short August to the following December. So that's a 16-month shelf life. Boba Fett is going to have a
couple months longer. That's it.
21 month.
Yep. And so the Boba Fett Throne Room, though, that one not only is a setting, but it's also got a little bit of building space, and some of those Star Wars buildings are pretty popular.
I had been considering this set only for the exclusive figs, but now that I'm seeing it is a substantial build. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll
look at that.
reconsider.
Look at that bird's eye view picture. Yeah, that one. See, so there's a fair amount you can do with that
Yeah, that's a
in
fair
terms
amount of
of
stuff.
building out a Lego Star Wars city scene, or Mos Eisley type scene.
Yeah, I could see this working with the cantina.
Yep, yep.
Here's my next set. What do we think?
I think, did this just get announced that it was being extended? I think this is the one that just fell off the retirement list from Brick Fanatics, right?
Yeah,
So, all
yeah.
right. So now it's going to have one of the longer shelf lives for a Speed Champion set. So that's a negative for it. It still is the $20 price point. So it's in the wave right before the latest on the 8 stud wide vehicles that went up to the $25. I don't think that one is going to be great in retirement. So of all the Speed Champion set, this one is low on my list.
I wasn't sure you had seen this hot off the press July update. I was hoping to stump you with this one. But completely agree. As a speed champion, I'm going to say this is going to be a weaker one. Now, if we look at the all-time list, you can see, and I love my speed champions. Looking for dark green cars, as you're saying, okay, here we found one finally.
Yep.
Ford Mustang, one of the last 6 wides, and it doesn't look like it's done all that much.
That's partly because Lego stinks at making Mustangs and Chargers in the correct shape using their Lego pieces. It's a cool car. It just doesn't look like a Mustang.
I completely agree. It almost looks like it looks like a C3, C4 Corvette, like a Batmobile.
Yep,
The
exactly.
green, this swoopiness gives me major, and the yellow wheels are giving me like Batmobile vibes.
Yep, I was going to say it's the green Batmobile, unintentionally, but yeah. Here's my next one. So I have remaining a good set, and I also have a who knows kind of set.
A mid set.
A mid set. So you got to figure out between the two of these, which one is it? And there you go. The Horizon Forbidden West Tallneck 76989. It came out in May of 22, expected to retire at the end of this year. $90 and 1,222 pieces.
I was just thinking about this set because I think I took some heat in a comment. I said that nobody really played this game, or I said that I think this game won't have a lot of staying power.
Whoops.
Which is a sort of a complaint of mine among gaming, because I am a gamer. I do play a lot of games, and I know the trend is like people cycle through games. Like games do not have a long shelf life, and it's like they're more disposable than ever. So I thought by the time the Lego set gets out, the demand is going to kind of not be there. It's going to be like a Queer Eye situation. Apparently, I've been proven wrong. I guess this set is pretty popular. I really like the figure, and it seems like pretty much the reviews of the product are outstanding. Scroll up. Let me see the shelf life. Looks like 19 months if it retires this year. I'm going to say this is a good set.
Yeah, so I picked this one as my winner. Similar thoughts. So I'm not a gamer, and I have not looked at the message boards related to this game. I have no idea what this game is other than watching a couple-minute YouTube video just to at least get eyes on it once. But watching videos about this set and just having other awareness, the message boards on this set among gamers are pretty good. And then on top of that, just Lego fans, this is a really well-designed set. It looks cool. It looks unique. It doesn't have a camera unfriendly angle, so you can look at it from all sides and have a good display. This creature horse thing, again, excuse my ignorance on the game, the Tallneck, I know, but it looks like the creature horse thing to me. It can come off the platform pretty easily, so you can set that up. And the minifigure, this exclusive one, I know it says 2. I don't care about this little brick-built minifigure, but this minifigure of Alloy is really good. We've been able to find this on sale a few times. I don't have any yet. I will get some. I almost pulled the trigger at the 70. I'm thinking we can get into the 60s here at some point, maybe stack some discounts.
Real quick, speaking of discounts. All right, so moving in here on Amazon, to take one example, first of all, we can see the volumes here. 1,000 in the last month of the Captain Rex, 3,000 of the Mandalorian, and only 1,000 of the Red 5. You can see this Red 5 helmet here. This is the lowest price I've ever seen for this set, down from $70, $50.32. Do you see that?
That must have just been within the last day or two.
It's been the last day or two, and I've been sitting here twiddling my thumbs, considering opening up a new credit card. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Bad advice.
Yeah, bad advice. Don't do that.
No, I'm just kidding. I've been sitting here looking at this $50 price thinking, in what world is this not $100 retired set?
It's got to be.
It pairs with the TIE Fighter.
Yeah.
Now, of course, that was lightning in a bottle, and no helmet will reproduce those results.
No. Back
But
there.
I think this is a winner. It stands out. The colors, the printed dishes. I
Of
think at this price you can't go wrong.
of all the helmets, this is by far my favorite. I like it even more than the Stormtrooper and the TIE Fighter pilot, even though these two obviously are going to do better because they were in the first wave and they're so iconic and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But now that we have this first wave out, and they've all been, we were just looking at the Mandalorian, which is all gray. The Dark Trooper is all black. The Princess Leia Bouche is all brown. So now that we're getting some color in these sets, Red 5 helmet is going to be very, very popular. It's going to be a standout. And I know that a lot of people are hesitant because of the visor or goggles area that doesn't quite look right. But when you look at it, you know exactly what it is. And so it checks the box. I wish it exceeded the box, but it certainly checks the box.
Yeah, I want to say it looks better kind of at this quarter angle. The straight on looks a little weird. You know what? I will say, speaking to the benefit of actually going to a physical store and checking out the actual product, when I saw this set built at a Target, it was much smaller than I expected.
Yeah.
And this is something that kind of is common to the helmets, but I think what they lack in physical size at the end is made up for in detail.
And I actually like the fact that they're not overly sized. I mean, I wish that the price was a little bit more close to the size, not just the piece count, but the volume of stuff. But after building it, I like now I haven't built this one, but after building them, I like the fact that they're a little smaller. I think that makes the collection look a little better.
So the next set I want to show you here, 21325 Medieval Blacksmith, the most obvious winner of the year, but then not.
So this is your maybe set. So I hear you. I'm all in on this set. It might be a long hold time, but I'm okay with that. When you get a set that looks this good, I'm willing to hold it for whatever it needs to be held. It's a great set.
Yeah, I love the color palette.
Yep.
I think in 5 years, those brittle browns are going to be giving a lot of people a lot of headaches.
That's a good point. I did not even think of.
I'm not sure if that issue has been fixed. I actually just rebuilt a set over there. I just rebuilt out of a bulk lot this set, the Republic frigate with all those dark reds.
Yep.
Let me tell you, those do not hold up whatsoever.
No.
It's a lower priority factor to consider. Like I would consider shelf life and availability and exclusive minifigures much more than I would consider, hey, maybe this will be rarer in the future because the parts are going to snap. So maybe that's more of just a fun observation than an actual factor to consider. I think maybe people are thinking so hard about this set, they're trying to like nitpick.
Yeah, I was gonna say like overthink it and question themselves and say, geez, everybody says this set's gonna do amazing, but are you sure? And I really want to make sure that I find every nook and cranny of why it might not be amazing so that I don't risk it like other people are. But I think this one is a really good set.
I tend to agree with you. And the reason why to me this is not a slam dunk, it's such an obvious winner. And I think with the popularity of Lego investing this year compared to last year, you probably have 50% more investment dollars going to sealed sets that are going to remain sealed. Possibly you have 100% more. I think you might even have, maybe that's an exaggeration because the overall market, overall economy is kind of headed down in the last year or so. So maybe there are fewer people with disposable dollars.
All right, so my last one, and I don't know if you remember if I've already done my good and my bad, so you got to figure this one out, but it is this set, the Dark Trooper helmet, 75343.
All right, so I know who I'm talking to here. And I know you love to look at those brick set ratings, Kevin. So look at this one, 3.8. That tells you everything you need to know. If you look on the Lego website, all of the reviews are complaining that it's small, overpriced, it's studdy. It almost reminds me of that really, really bumpy VW Beetle from like 2008.
Yep.
So as a design, I won't say this is going to age well. I won't say it even looks good now. But as a Lego investment, I think a lot of people are overlooking this set. It is the follow-up to the TIE Fighter pilot helmet. Now, of course, no helmet will again match that performance. And I see you have one sitting there behind you.
Yep.
Might want to put that, might want to wrap it in shrink wrap. That's going to be a college tuition one day. But I think a lot of people are sleeping on this set. I've noticed in my own findings at Target when I go to stores around like the holidays, other helmets are cleared out, other sale sets are cleared out. The Dark Troopers remain, which is really surprising to me because it's limit 1 or 2 online, I want to say, maybe 3. From Lego, it's maybe limit 5. But strictly by being a Target exclusive, I think this is such a winner. And talk about the collectability. yes, it's dark. So is the TIE Fighter pilot helmet. So you don't need flashy colors necessarily
It's better than
to
gray.
yeah, better than a
Better than
light bluish
gray.
gray wedge.
For me, this is the one that I said that I'm throwing my hands up, and I really don't know. If I had to pick, I would lean towards, on the bell curve, I'd lean on the side that it will be a good investment. But here's my main issue with it. It doesn't look like the actual Dark Trooper source material and characters. The cheeks are all wrong. The jowls are kind of wrong. The eyes are wrong. And the nose and mouth area isn't bad, but the cheeks and the eyes are wrong. And then, like you said, the big issue is that it is way too studdy on top. It makes it look like a hairy Dark Trooper. And if there were not a bunch of studs on top and it was plated and tiled over, then I think maybe it would have a better look. So although it should do well because it's the only Dark Trooper, and it's really not a helmet, it's the Dark Trooper head, even though it's the only one we're probably going to get, and everybody wants them all, and this one's Target exclusive, it is a huge disappointment in terms of comparing to the source material. But let's jump into the Dark Trooper attack set, and it's this one right here, which is 75324, scheduled to retire at the end of this year. It was originally, I think, $30. I think it got the $5 price hike to $35, if I recall.
It did.
400 ratings, a 4.0 on brick set. Yes, the minifigures are important, but for me, I love the scene as a whole. And then it has 3 Dark Troopers. I wish there was a 4th to really pull off the scene, but having the 3 there looks like it, has something going on, and we weren't skimped. But the overall scene, and I actually equate this set with the Star Wars dioramas that I really, really like. I actually like the dioramas better than the helmets, and maybe they don't perform as well, but I know it's always on sale for $27. I think you got to get it for about $20 for it to be an investment. I think long term it will do pretty well. I mean, it's obviously from The Mandalorian, which is very popular. It's not a junk set from Mandalorian. We've had a couple of those, but most of the Mandalorian sets are going to be popular long term. But it's possible that this one could be a pretty long hold time. So that's my thoughts on this set.
Oh man, almost couldn't disagree with you more. So this is a ridiculous price, especially after the price bump. I see why it's priced at $35. I mean, these are like you say, really nice minifigures. I see what you're saying, that it blends in with the dioramas. This set, contrasted with the Dark Trooper helmet there, this set has been absolutely everywhere. It's been in Costco. It's been in supermarkets. I wasn't even aware of this, but in like Kroger branded supermarkets. I know in the UK it's in Tesco, which is like another supermarket.
Yeah.
So like this set is everywhere. It's floating out there. I think there's so many out there that have been purchased by parents and grandparents and relatives, and just the troopers look great. And I think for mock building, they could potentially be massable, but they're not clones. And so I just don't see, still for 15 years, people have been obsessed with building like clone armies. And I think that's not going away.
Well, you're right about the massable thing. I think the most that anybody would really want is, let me think. So 4 of these sets would be 12 of them. I think to replicate what we're seeing in that Mandalorian episode or a couple of episodes, somewhere in the 10 to 15 range is about all you need. So people aren't going to be buying and building Dark Trooper armies in the hundreds. That we certainly know.
Right.
So available to everybody, but how many of those sets that are being bought are being opened right away?
I mean, for a small set like the Dark Trooper attack, okay, here we go. We can see here it's just actually dropped down from 27 to 26. I'm getting bad vibes. This is $5 from the price point of Trouble on Tatooine, which is of course a much weaker set.
Yeah, that set was
awful. But in terms of the price point and the fact that it's kind of a small location build plus the figs, I just get too much heebie-jeebies. So I actually saw one of these sets. Now, it was only one copy, but it was on Target clearance for $15.
What? Did you get it?
I stood there and I looked at it and I did some math and I didn't pick it up. I passed it up.
Wow.
Because
well,
I don't know.
Call me. I'll pick it up and you can mail it to me.
Okay. Fantastic. As far as contributing factors that went into that decision, number one, I don't already own that set and I'm reluctant to just pick up one.
Yeah.
That's something that you should keep track of. And the administrative work of adding it to your spreadsheet, it's like, well, if I'm only going to make $5 on this set. And then the low price point, like we've talked about in the past, I'll only pick up, it is a screaming deal. Maybe I should have picked it up. For myself, I would have picked it up, but just for resale, buying at 15 and maybe selling in the future for, I think you'd be lucky to get 35 or 40 a year from now.
Yeah.
What am I left with? 25 bucks?
No, I agree. And then all the processing fees and everything else, just not worth it. Yeah, the two that I've picked up so far are for myself.
Yeah. So
And and
what
that's
is
a little bit of a prospecting, it's a little bit of a maybe. I think worst case scenario, you don't lose on them at $20. But the nice thing about those is I remember them. I don't have the box near me, but the box is pretty sturdy, right? So like some of the speed champions, a lot of speed champions, the single cars, the box is really wimpy. And so they're
yeah.
a little harder to store and ship. This one, the box is really sturdy and it's small. And so 10 of them, even if I got to hold on to it for 5 years, yeah, is it really worth in the long run for the extra bucks for 5 years? Probably not. But I think it's good to have variety and have some prospecting. And I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to have some smaller sets that you're like, all right, well, hopefully those do something for me future years in the road so that you always have something to sell every year.
I tend to agree. If you want this for your collection, absolutely don't miss it. And that's
Yeah.
kind of when it gets closer to the end of the year and you're thinking about dropping both the investment dollars, but also the personal dollars. Like what sets would I hate to miss out on?
Yeah.
This is a set that, I wouldn't mind maybe having one copy. Maybe I should have already picked it up.
Well, you had your chance at $15. I don't think you're beating that.
Well, so yeah, this is where also the personal life comes into play. I have a limited space at my apartment. And so my personal collection is really just clones and droids. I don't have space to expand that. So
I totally get that. That is the killer of Lego collecting, especially because Lego keeps on making sets that are bigger and bigger and bigger.
I'm so surprised to see, looking at the sales volumes here, even on sale, it looks like 1,000 in the last month.
Yep.
Whereas your Obi-Wan Starfighter is 7,000. That is nuts.
It is nuts.
And so it's crazy to me that like 6,000 X-Wings, a $50 set being sold at 20% off for 40.
Yep.
How are they selling 6,000 of those and not even that many, battle packs? Just madness.
I know. And only 1,000 of those Dark Trooper attack sets.
Right. So
and I think a lot of them are getting ripped. I mean, obviously we know some people are buying them and putting them away. Most Star Wars sets, somebody's going to be dabbling and investing in them. But
in today's day and age,
a lot of these Dark Trooper sets are getting opened up by medium-aged kids and young adults.
Right. And so that's another thing, like looking at a set, like say comparing a Dark Trooper attack to the Cantina, only 100 bought in the last month. I think percentage wise, more of the Cantinas are going into the closet sealed for someday.
Yep.
You know what I mean? 80% or 90% of those Dark Trooper attacks are getting torn open. And so that's the difference between a small set and a large set.
Wouldn't it be great to actually have that data and know? I wonder if there's a way we could do some sort of hypothesis on what that would actually be.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you run into the problem of every website or subreddit or Facebook group is just an echo chamber.
Yep.
So I agree with you that you can kind of start to second guess yourself, like we were saying about the medieval blacksmith. It's such a good set, but then you start to play the meta game of like, well, everybody knows that it's a good set.
Like the Republic fighter tank.
Yeah.
So talking about the large Mos Eisley Cantina, I know earlier you were mentioning a set that you were thinking it'd be interesting to compare this one to a different set in terms of what we think it could do in retirement.
Yeah. So let's go to our retirement list. So the update that we already talked about is the 75333 Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter has fallen off the list, presumably to the end of 2024. Hopefully no one was stocking up too heavy on that one.
Well, we just saw on Amazon that 7,000 of them were sold last month. So we can see why Lego said, yeah, we're running this for another year, whether it's investors or just other people.
Yeah, that would be strange. I hadn't thought about that. Maybe it would be helpful to, this is the kind of due diligence that if I really want to set myself apart and like potentially, but it's like, why do extra work when I could just buy the Blacksmith like everybody else?
Yeah.
Anyway, we have the Republic Gunship here, the other $400 set. No, both of these are not scheduled to retire. The Cantina is scheduled to remain around.
That's right.
Yeah, nowhere to be found on the Brick Fanatics list. And then if you actually look at the Lego Leak subreddit, they have a pretty good Google sheet. Just for anybody watching, this is like such important information, like what's retiring, what's not retiring. And you would hate to put your money someplace and then be wrong if it was preventable. So you want to have like the best information possible. What I would recommend is either the Brick Fanatics list or the Lego Leaks Google spreadsheet.
Part of the risk in game is knowing that there will be a set, like we talked last time, that just disappears without anybody knowing. And there will also be a set that's on the retirement list until the last minute, and then it sticks around. But
I think we're
Usually in the last couple of months, you can start to get a feel on at least the latter of those two scenarios. You can start to get a feel on, hey, I'm not seeing this in the stores so much anymore. Then you're going to protect yourself a little better. It's unlikely Lego's going to continue on a set that is not readily stocked in the stores.
So here's the thing. I look at the Cantina not retiring this year as sort of Berkshire Hathaway, Berkshire B. It's not the fastest growth. It's not the most explosive tech growth stock. It's not going to double in a year. But I think for long-term growth, you can't go wrong with the Cantina. And I think even starting to buy it now may not be the worst thing in the world. This set has been out since 2020. So if you're buying it in 23 or early in next year, 2024, you're buying it in basically the last third of the life regardless. So it's not like a treehouse situation where you could buy this set and be stuck with it for 4 or 5 years. So even though this set is not retiring, I'm not sure it's a mistake to pick it up this early on a good promotion or sale or gift with purchase.
Yeah, and are you going off the assumption that the Cantina will retire at the end of next year?
I would hope so. Yeah, if it gets pushed back to 25, then it's a different story.
Yeah, I think so. But I think that I know every now and then, again, treehouse. But I think that would really interfere with Lego's scheduling and plans for other large Star Wars sets. We know we've got another one coming out. I forget what it is. Just forget off the top of my head. But yeah, it seems like the probability of it going past the end of 24 is extremely low.
So I'm assuming it retires at the end of 2024.
Yeah.
I think if you're picking it up now, not the worst thing in the world. And to finish the Berkshire B example.
Oh, yeah.
It may not be an issue of threading the needle, of buying a set just as it retires on the greatest sale, because sometimes you're getting toward the end of the year and you're wondering, is this the best sale I'll see? Should I hold out for a better sale? You can never be completely sure of that. With a set like the Cantina or with, something like Berkshire B, it's a long-term sustained growth. It doesn't even really matter if you buy in early. It doesn't really even matter if you hold it a little too long. The idea is not to thread the needle to double your money magically after fees in 12 months. Because that is so hard to do. It's very doable. And I've watched a lot of Lego investing videos on YouTube, and I believe some of those numbers, but I would much rather have like a foolproof, less detail specific Lego investing strategy. And so I think you can't go wrong with the Cantina long term.
I agree. So this set is great. I have one. It's one of the few sets that I bought full price first day. It is absolutely one of my favorites. I'm with you. I don't see how this doesn't become $1,000 set, maybe 8 years from now, 5 years from now. Yeah. But I don't think Lego is making another Mos Eisley Cantina that size probably ever again. They've made a few, and the first one from 2004 was originally $30, and it's $450 on Brickset. And then the next two are not doing that well, the one from 2014 and the one from 2018. But those two are very small and they were just partial. The one that's out now, the one that we're looking at, is the full set. I don't think you can really add anything more unless you're going to do more side builds and, make a little bigger town of the Mos Eisley area. So it's great. It's great. And also it's many people's favorite scene from all of Star Wars. And it's certainly the best music in all of Star Wars.
Yeah, no, hands down. And I totally agree with you. Like, this set appeals to obviously Star Wars fans, but like older folks, like who don't follow up with all the shows, boomers, and beyond. Lego is pushing into that adult market. And so this is a set that somebody who's a little older, I want a Cantina. Because you're right, it's like the most iconic scene, most iconic music score ever.
And it comes with the bartender. How awesome is that?
Comes with the bar. You can play out your Lego Star Wars 2, the video game fantasies here at the bar. So great set. So a set that is retiring this year, the UCS Gunship. I'm big on this set.
And we're kind of comparing these two together, even though they don't retire at the same time. So for me, I despise this set.
Really?
You're big on this set. I despise it. The minifigures stink. The Mace Windu is not good compared to the one that we just got in the Republic fighter tank. And then the other minifigure, there's nothing special about it. So my two big issues. Number one, the color blocking with obviously the base is white, but then you've got the gray. Is that a dark red or a reddish brown?
Dark red.
Yeah. So you've got the gray, the dark red, and then that greenish color, and it's all disjointed. If you compare it to the source material, there's a flow to the color. This does not have any flow to it, in my opinion. Yeah, so there's flow to where the red is, and it connects, but maybe it's because of Lego and a lot of Lego pieces are at a 90-degree angle, but the red pieces and the gray pieces are very splotchy to me. And then my other major issue is that the proportions are all wrong. The canopies, they fit a minifigure. The little gun turrets, they fit a minifigure. But then the bay, if you put a minifigure in there, the bay looks like it's 5 times the height of a minifigure, which obviously is not what it is in the movie. Although I love this ship, and the first time I saw it in, which one was it? Episode 2? Is that the first time we saw this? Or it might have been something earlier. One of those.
Yeah, episode 2 was the first.
Okay,
time.
episode 2, and I know it's been in some other series here and there. The first time I saw it, I was like, man, that ship is awesome. I love the scene. Great ship. I love the angles on it and how those engines, long, thin engines are up top and the gun turrets and everything. But for some reason, every angle of this just looks ugly to me.
Yeah, I think that's kind of an unsolvable problem with any gunship of scale.
Yeah.
We all know Republic gunships over the long term are some of the best-selling Star Wars sets, Star Wars investments.
Yeah. So although I don't like this set personally, and I don't want to own one, I don't want to build one, it's not worth the price, it's not worth the space it would take, I do think it will be a good investment. And I think that it may turn the profit a little quicker than the Mos Eisley Cantina, but I think maybe over a longer run, the Mos Eisley Cantina will either catch up or slightly outperform it. But I do think it will be a good investment.
That'll be interesting. This one obviously gets at least a year head start, assuming it retires at the end of the year. And assuming the Cantina maybe retires end of 2024.
Well, and plus, remember, the Cantina came out in 2020 and in October, and this one came out 11 months later in August of 2021. Sorry, 10 months later in August of 2021. So it'll have about half the shelf life.
Yeah, and so the box is really the same size, but once built, you need a huge place to display this set because of the wingspan, whereas your Cantina not only appeals to A New Hope fans, which I think is a way more eternally popular movie than Attack of the Clones or any media featuring the gunship, but when it comes to Lego, Clones are where it's at, gunships are where it's at.
Yep.
I think in this environment, a lot of the more beginner Lego investors basically are not going out and getting a $400 set until they feel confident with turning a profit on lower sets. So I think my strategy a little bit in the future is going to be to go a little bit more upmarket.
Yeah.
So I own one of this set. I'm looking forward to grabbing at least one more. I think it's going to be a huge winner.
Any chance we can get this on sale, you think? I know we can get it with a couple of good gift with purchases before the end of this year, but any chance of getting it on sale, you think?
I don't know. I've seen Walmart and Amazon go down just in the last 6 months to $330.
Oh, okay.
But then with sales tax on top, you're looking at like $360 with no gift with purchase and to resell on the side. Yeah. So I would almost rather get this one from Lego with like a good gift with purchase. The problem is a lot of those gifts you can hit with a $200 purchase, and this being $400 after the price increase, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think the Cantina 10 years from now is going to outpace the gunship. But that'll be interesting to say. And no one can say.
Yeah.
A lot of people think they know, but no one really knows.
Yeah, and it's funny. So this picture you have up is probably the best picture, the best angle. It's got the best lighting, a little bit of shadow in there, so it makes it look a little more dynamic, and therefore it's a little more palatable to me looking at it. But even still looking at this, I still have the emotion of, oh, so close to what I want, or in the arena of what I want, but just not quite there.
Yeah. So you said arena. I think with the Attack of the Clones behind us, we can safely say there's no chance we're going to get a Geonosian arena, like a Master Builder series Geonosian arena with the 3 creatures, the towers, and like a whole gunship rescue. I think that would have been a great Master Builder series, but with Attack of the Clones anniversary behind us, I think it's pretty solid. This is the best episode 2 set we're going to get.
That would have been amazing, though. All right, well, should we wrap up? I think we covered it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Leave your comments down below if you agree or disagree with any of these points. If you're picking up the gunship, the Cantina, any of these good sets, bad sets, or not so sure sets that we talked about, leave your thoughts down in the comments below. If you would like to propose a segment or kind of a new podcast activity, be sure to check out Kevin with KDX Bricks Analytics. His link to the channel will be the first link in the description down below. This was a lot of fun, Kevin. Thanks. And happy birthday.
Thanks, David. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We will do more here very soon. For everybody watching, we will keep at this. This is a good time, and we'll keep growing and learning and tweaking as we go.